So I'm reading Matthew chapter 18, verses 21 through 35. And in this portion of the chapter, Jesus is talking about the servant and the master. The servant pretty much owes a debt to his master. The master says, pay up. The servant says, I don't got the money. Please give me another week. I'll figure it out. He's begging the master. Well, the master feels pity on his servant and he says, you know what? I forgive you of your debt. Go on about your day. Well, the servant who had his debt forgiven sees another servant, and this servant owes him money. So he goes up to him and he says, give me my money. The servant that is being confronted says, I don't have it. Please let me figure out something. The servant who had his debts forgiven says, nope, put this man in prison and he will not get out until he pays me my debt. Well, the master hears of this, calls the servant who had his debts forgiven, calls him back and says, how could you do this to this man? I forgave you of your debts. Why couldn't you do this for him as well? You are truly evil. As a result, you're going to jail and you will not come out until you pay me what you owe me. The Lord pretty much is using this example to show, right, forgive each other. Because in verse 35, he says, this is how my Father in heaven will treat each of you unless you forgive your brother or sister from your heart. And that goes in result to having that brotherly love, right? We got to love each other to the point where we could forgive each other for any wrongdoings. And it's hard to forgive each other when, a person feels wronged or you feel wronged by someone. Sometimes we want to hold on to that and we just want to live in that resentment or that hate, you could even say. But the Lord calls us to be forgiving to one another, right? The Lord calls us to be forgiving to one another because he is a God of forgiveness. The Lord gave his son so that we could have our sins forgiven. So what excuse do we have to not forgive one another?